Good morning, beloveds. It is Saturday, and I went to the park, and it was not, I don't know. I really enjoyed the park, but today, I think I just wasn't in the mood, and it was really cold. It was in the high 30s, maybe low 40s, if we're lucky. And there was an elite soccer tournament going on in the park, and so I was just like, so there weren't a lot of squirrels. Actually, the first creatures that approached us were a pair of blue jays. And I don't know. So we did one loop and then I was like, nope, I want to go home. So, I don't know. I'm not feeling it today. And some days you don't. So honor that, you know? It's like, I'm always excited to go to the park, but today I got to the park and I was just not excited to be there. Oh, all right. It is February 18th. Our title is, What is the Next Step? The first quote is, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to them that believeth. Mark 9:29. The second quote is, The one seeking to demonstrate the power of spiritual realization in everyday affairs should believe in the divine guidance, and that is Science of Mind, page 167. Haven't we all experienced those times when we knew something unusual awaited us? Possibly we sensed that a significant relationship was soon to end, or that we would be leaving our present employment. We might be brought up short by a sudden transforming event and discover that our lives are never to be the same again. I believe it is only natural for us to wonder what lies ahead. Could I, should I, must I? Sometimes we find no light before us to make the way clear. These are the times that truly test what we believe. That there is a universal mind which includes our own minds, that this mind responds to our thoughts and provides the answers to our concerns. When we pray, believing that we shall be guided into the best possible choices for us, the guidance will be present. There is within us that power which knows exactly how to fulfill our needs, and it will meet those needs if we let it. Infinite mind inspires me. Infinite power expresses through me. Infinite love heals me and presents me as a true spiritual being. Clearly, I am being led along the right path. Step by step, I move into my right place, a place where I may bring joy, enjoy personal interactions, and be completely satisfied. All my needs are met, and I am never lacking anything. Yes, I am grateful. And that is MS. That is Margaret Stortz. And now I have to think about that. Okay. I'm a military brat. I have moved across the country more times than not. And I've moved a lot in my life. And that's one of those things where, you know, as a child, your parents come home and say, okay, we're moving. And you're like, oh, okay. And so, you know, it's one of those things. And so there's that faith when you're a child and your parents say, hey, we're moving across the country. The biggest move I made, I lived in England, but I was a very small child. And from England, we went to Utah, and then from Utah, we moved to Georgia. And so that's a real significant, by the way, because I was 8 years old when I did that. When I moved from Utah to Georgia, and your parents come to you and say, we're moving, and you say, okay. And then you just get on with it. And so sometimes when I think about the be as little children quote from Jesus, that's what I think about is, you know, when my parents came and said, okay, we're moving too. And, you know, my brother and I, it's not like we had a choice, right? My parents were moving. My father's job was moving us, and literally all the way across the country. And so what do? you pack up your stuff and you pack your suitcase and you get in the car and you go, okay. And sometimes that's what Spirit requires of us. Sometimes what Spirit requires of us is just to say, okay, and to get in the car, either literally or metaphorically, and just to trust that when we get there, it's going to be okay. I don't remember if they told us where we were going. I don't remember if they told us we were going to be in the car for 3 days. I remember a little bit about that car trip, mostly that you don't feed a small child spaghetti and then put him in a hot car for several hours. It was not me, it was my younger brother. But sometimes that's what Spirit asks of us, is to be as a little child and just to say yes. We may not know what's coming. And honestly, Spirit might not know what's coming because it's a pattern, not a plan. But when we say yes, and then we, get in the car and go, when we say yes with that willingness, and we're willing to be led, then we will get guidance, and it will come at us from all kinds of interesting directions. And it'll be an adventure. And I think that's part of my attitude with life, is that even if I don't know where I'm going, I know I'm going to have an adventure. And so that it comes from that childhood. And so when we get that impending sense of, okay, something's going to change here, if we can say yes, like that child does, and pack our suitcase, metaphorically or literally, and go with a sense of adventure, it's all gonna be okay. It's all gonna work out in the end. And I'm not gonna say that it will be easy, because it might not be. And but that's why I say a sense of adventure, because even what looks like an obstacle can be an adventure. It might take you somewhere you never thought you'd go. You'll learn something you never thought you'd learn. So it, but the other thing about that, and I'm going to go back to that sense of adventure of a child. When a child is asked to move all the way across the country, you pack up your stuff. These people come into your house, take all of your stuff, or they actually packed it. And then you drive across country, and then when you get there, all your stuff is there. So, and I think that's kind of part of it. It's like when you're asked to make one of these life-changing changes, your stuff's going to be there. It's going to be okay. And I guess I can't articulate what I'm trying to say here. Because I've moved enough. Your world is going to change, but your stuff's still going to be there. And before your world changes, you have the opportunity to go through your stuff and decide what you want to take with you. And sometimes that's important too. When you're looking at what your next step is, maybe one of the first things you want to do is take a look at your life and go, well, what do I want to take with me? And what is it time that I leave behind? Because your stuff's going to be there when you get there. Do you want all of it? I was only reminded of that because of the number of times we did garage sales. It's like, okay, we're going to move across the country. It's time to let some of the stuff go. So if you can be as a little child and say yes and know your stuff's going to be there when you get there, it's all going to be okay. It's going to be an adventure. then you don't worry so much about the next step. All right, Margaret. I don't know if I did you justice today, but that's what I was reminded of. Moving from Utah to Georgia. Yeah, my world changed. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, when we are looking at the next step, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is when we are looking at the next step, choose what to leave behind. Choose what to leave behind. Know your stuff is going to be there when you get there. Choose what to leave behind. Make a conscious decision to let some stuff go. Now, I'm talking partly material, but I'm also talking about mental, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. When we are asked to make a huge change. And that's the cool thing about being a child. You don't have a lot of baggage. So, be as a little child, shed some of that baggage. That's the mission today. And maybe you don't have a big change coming up, but you know what? Tomorrow is a next step. What is it that you'd like to leave behind today? You don't need them tomorrow. So, and know that the guidance will be there. Always, always, always. Okay. So I don't know what I was about to say, because I'm trying to say, and the other thing is the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. I just tumbled into that one. Sometimes it looks like taking a deep breath. Sometimes it looks like taking a nap. Sometimes it looks like taking a walk. Sometimes it looks like going through your baggage and leaving some of it behind. Sometimes it is saying yes in faith believing. Sometimes it looks like knowing your stuff's going to be there. Sometimes it looks like packing up. Sometimes the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself is to say yes to a world-changing event. And sometimes it's to say no. Okay? So no is okay as well. You don't have to change your world just because you're offered a change. You can. You have a choice. All right. So remember that. That is the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for yourself, is to remember you have a choice. So self-care. Make no bones about the fact that the loving, kind, and compassionate thing is about self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. It is also about making room for joy. All right. Your life is a special occasion. So when I say eat dessert first, I literally mean sometimes eat dessert first. But I also mean don't save the good stuff. All right. Make room for joy. Make room in your life for that fun stuff. Wear the good clothes, eat the good food, break out the nice china and the good silverware and the what is it that they always had? Leaded crystal glasses, goblets. I don't know. Because they would make really pretty sounds when you tapped them. Yeah, I don't know. It's like old home week in my head, because now I'm thinking about that move from Utah to Georgia, and I'm like, oh, and we had that, and we had that, and you always lose stuff in the move. So, all right. Loving, kind, compassion. Practice on yourself. As I say, you are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback, but I also say that you deserve your own love. You deserve your own compassion. You deserve your own kindness. Absolutely, absolutely practice on yourself. What my goal is to encourage you to create a habit, to create a default setting, to create a first response, so that no matter what happens, especially if somebody comes to you or you come upon that where life-changing event and you want to say yes, you can be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself and everybody involved in that. I don't remember those conversations where my parents said, hey, we're moving. I'm trying to think when they decided to, nope, that was a weird conversation. when you are loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself, then when you meet people who are going through those life-changing events and wondering what the next step is, you will have plenty to share. I'm encouraging you to create a well-worn path to the infinite source of love, kindness, and compassion, to go within and make that connection and strengthen that connection daily. That's why I say it is a spiritual practice. Strengthen that connection daily. All right. I'm just all discombobulated today. It's a good thing it's a Saturday. So I'm going to move in and encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like. I'm going to encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better when it's well hydrated. I'm going to encourage you to get early in your day, bright light. The sun was up. There were very few clouds. I got some good sun in the park. It's also kind of frustrating because, when the squirrels are and the light is and the picture doesn't come out. But early in the day, bright light. It's called a circadian rhythm. It is literally a hormone balance. When you get that early in your day, especially on your face, it helps to reset that natural hormone balance, which helps you to have more energy during the day and sleep better at night. That's why I talk about it. It's science. You can look it up. Early in your day, bright light. You get up before the sun, artificial light counts. So, moving on to, in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul, allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around you all the time. Okay. I'm just a little off today. I've just had my schedule rearranged pretty much every day this week. So, it is what it is. By the time you get to Saturday and your brain's kind of like mush. And what does it look like to open the windows of your soul? It looks like saying yes. It looks like looking at that next step, not knowing where it's going to take you and taking it anyway. It looks like being vulnerable. It looks like being kind. It looks like being compassionate. It looks like being loving. It looks like self-care. It looks like service. And it looks like looking for the good and praising it. Emma's advice will get you everywhere. It's about remembering that heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. Once we learn, and the first time you do it for yourself, the first time you create heaven for yourself, that state of mind, you realize that you can do it again. And heaven ceases to be a place and becomes any place. And if you practice enough, it can become every place. Because you take it with you. All right. We talk about making a world that works for everybody. That's part of it. Once you learn to create heaven, you become peaceful in this world. And when you become peaceful in this world, other people can learn from your example. That's the work we do. All right. Moving on. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center. I'm Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe. I'm not always this messy, but some days I am. I do encourage you to check that out. And if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That gets you on the constant contact. And when in the constant contact, if it says click here now, the hot link is hot. It will take you either right to the information you want, like our YouTube channel. If you click on the hot link for the soul sessions, it takes you right to that playlist. And there's great stuff on there. And then, or it'll take you to the person that'll help you get the information. So please check that out. I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, a magic-making day, a catter day. Which is for the cats, because, with it being cold, they're extra cuddly. So I'm going to have a catter day, a get stuff done day, a take a rest day, a talk to a good friend day, a make a new friend day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are a godling in whom God is well pleased and well represented always and forever. All right, beloveds. I might be a hot mess today, but Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I should be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And we'll have an amazing service for you tomorrow around 11 on Facebook Live. So, I'll see you next time.